Okay, welcome back. We're doing another black box game. This is episode 4, Donkey Kong Jr. And we're going to be doing this on the NES Mini, which is great because we have our high score saved here via suspend point. And it looks like my high score in Donkey Kong Jr., 199,100 points. And that does kind of drive me just a little bit crazy because it's so close to 200,000. But that's okay. We're going to break all of our high score records someday. You know, the goal, once we get through the black box games and then a number of other games on this channel, then we're actually going to just be score chasing all the greats. Elevator Action, Miss Pac-Man, Donkey Kong Jr., Popeye, Wrecking Crew, Balloon Fight, Mario Bros., you name it. In the meantime, though, we're just going to be, showing off the game, what we like about it. So anyway, let's go ahead and jump into Donkey Kong Jr. And Donkey Kong Jr. admittedly is not as popular as its predecessor, but it was a very popular arcade in its day. It had big shoes to fill, of course. Nintendo was they took a big risk with Donkey Kong Jr. Instead of just giving us a very similar platformer like Donkey Kong, they gave us something that was entirely unique. And they would take the same risk with Donkey Kong 3, giving us an even more interesting and unique game. Some might not like it, but I think it's a risk that paid off. So, a couple of things about Donkey Kong Jr. that set it apart. For one, the opportunity to rack up points a little bit more limited. With Donkey Kong, you got all those opportunities to jump over barrels and to use the hammer to smash barrels and rack up extra points that way. With Donkey Kong Jr., there's the fruit, and that's about it. You get the fruit and the bonus. This is close to platforming, where we can kind of get some extra points jumping over the sparks. But for the most part, I feel like you have fewer opportunities to rack up points in Donkey Kong Jr. Doesn't mean it's worse, it's just a little tougher to score. But Donkey Kong Jr. does make up for it. Because Donkey Kong Jr. does not have the brutal learning curve that Donkey Kong has. With Donkey Kong, the elevator stages, I always think of that great quote from, I think it's Rob Rookchek, or maybe someone in King of Kong, A Fistful of Quarters. They say that the elevator stages represent one of the most difficult challenges in all of video games. And that's a fairly on the money. When it comes to classic coin-op arcade games, alright, that's the end of one loop. Yeah, most players are not going to be able to make it past the third springboard stage in Donkey Kong. It requires tremendous reflexes to be able to get past it consistently, so I tend to agree with that quote. I certainly feel like the learning curve in Donkey Kong Jr. is more gradual and thus a little more forgiving. I can make it about 5, maybe 6 boards on a decent game in Donkey Kong Jr. Donkey Kong 3, board 4. I have made it a little bit further, but I consistently don't make it past the 4th board. But we're gonna talk about Donkey Kong more when we do Donkey Kong. For right now, let's just focus on what's to like about Donkey Kong Jr. In the Mike and Bootsy episode, where they play Donkey Kong Jr., Bootsy recalls that this is one of the games he had in his original NES library. And he says it left a bit of a sour taste in his mouth because he wanted something a little more interesting. He felt that this game was a little too limited. And that's kind of the conundrum that I've talked about a little bit while doing the Black Box series, is that back in the late 1980s, when most consumers had their Nintendo Entertainment System, you know, they were into games that were a little bit more complex. Now, the Black Box series was, of course, games that were great for their time, but they represented maybe a bit more of a antiquated era in video games. The good news, though, is that they've had, you know, 35, 40 years to marinate, and, you know, they were overlooked because they were less desirable, because they were a little too simple. And now, these are the games that I enjoy playing the most. I really do feel like you get a lot of bang for your buck with games like Donkey Kong, Donkey Kong Jr., Balloon Fight, Ice Climber. I feel like the first 3 or 4 rounds are almost like a warm-up. The game really starts ramping up the difficulty probably by the 4th or 5th round. Having an okay run so far. And if I'm making it look easy, I apologize. That is not my intention. This is, it would take some practice to get the skill going so that you can consistently rack up, you know, about 100,000 points. No bonus rounds like there is in Mario Bros. And Balloon Fight, which is disappointing. I really do like those really fun bonus rounds. All right, that's our first life lost. We're close to 100,000. I'd like to get at least 100,000. It seems like it's going to be a achievable goal. All right, that should put us over the 200, or excuse me, the 100,000 point threshold. I realize I'm quoting Cinemassacre again. I always think of, you know, how games like this have no music, and, you know, it's basic, classic arcade style. You know, these original black box games very much kind of like the next evolution of Atari games. For those of you that remember the charm of Atari. I always think of that line from, I think it's the AVGN episode on the Atari 5200 where James talks about, I think he opens it up by saying that games like these are meant to be played in the dark, late at night. Basking in the glow of the television with the sound of crickets to keep you company. Yeah. Games, you know, like the black box games, absolutely fit that bill in my opinion. Okay, I think this puts us on loop 5. So, having a good run so far. I'm enjoying, yeah, all things considered. I'm actually pretty rusty at this game. I only played a couple rounds before this. And I think I've mentioned this before, but a game like Donkey Kong or Donkey Kong Jr., I believe you really need to be pretty locked in to have a chance at, setting a new high score. It's not like Mario Bros. Or Balloon Fight where I can just kind of be relaxing while I play. With Donkey Kong Jr., you have to, have a few practice games in, be really paying attention and focused. Oh, I was so close. Got just the tip of my foot. This is a crummy stage to lose a life on because there's really not a whole lot of points you can rack up. Okay, so 150,000. I feel I'm okay with not getting any more points. Like I said, round 5, this is where the game really starts ramping up the difficulty. This is where it becomes fun. And like all great classic score chasers, you feel, the addiction is there. You feel like you are getting close, like you have an opportunity to set your new high score, that you are getting better. I, of course, know better. I know that I'm not getting better, that sometimes just have a really good game. And we're very close to that 200,000. I don't know if we're going to get it. This is a really, really tough chunk of the game right here. Oh, so close. Just shy of our high score. What a shame. But, man, what an exciting game. I really love playing. Nothing gets me going like a good game of Donkey Kong Jr. So 198,300, just 1,700 points shy of that 200,000 mark. So pretty proud of this score. Want to get that high score eventually. And what can I say about Donkey Kong Jr.? Just a great, fun game. Cannot wait to score chase this in the future. So stay tuned. We've got great more black box games coming up.